Buenas.
Don't wait for me to sit down or anything.
Well,
buenas.
Welcome to Chisme Cafe. I have learned real quick.
What?
We've put out a couple of podcasts by now.
2, and then the third drops Sunday, and then this will be out after.
I have learned that I don't like my hair, and I will be changing it.
So you'll be dyeing your hair?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I'm gonna keep it natural.
I was adamant about it.
You were like...
When I look at myself in the mirror head on, I don't think it's that bad. The profile view I see of me on the podcast, it's because I have a lot of gray. And I know I have a lot of gray.
Mm-hmm.
And
no shame in that.
No shame. But when I see myself on camera, when my hair's down, it's like gray stripe, blonde stripe, gray stripe.
Yeah.
And I've had my hair grow out. I haven't colored it in like a year. So I know like the new growth is not blonde. I know. But like the gray looks like I have bald spots because of the lighting.
Oh, really?
And I have zoomed in so many times. And I said I can't do it anymore. So I will be doing like a 4-inch chop and a color.
Nice.
When? I don't know. Whenever my schedule allows. But.
Love how you didn't fix up your hair for today.
Well, no. Well, I'm not
like,
too bothered.
You're like, I hate my hair, but today it's the exact same up and down.
Yeah.
Bun or ponytail. Clip, same thing.
Cute.
Yeah. Well, we're also in a different area again. We're in another spot here. We're like a different spot every episode.
It's called the House Shuffle.
Okay.
Where we go to...
Love that. This is a traveling podcast, so we don't have to be stationary.
Why not? Why be stationary? That's boring. Keep our viewers into it. Where shall they podcast?
Where are we going to be next? I wanted to record the last episode in front of your shoes, too.
Maybe no, thank you. I'm a mess.
What?
No, I'm a mess. And
it would be funny.
It's not funny.
Anyway.
It's a mess.
Okay, so today I wanted to talk about our birthing stories, motherhood, postpartum, because you've been a mom for almost 7 years.
Almost 7 years now. His birthday's coming up.
And I'm a new mom.
Yep.
For 5, almost 6 months. So so let's talk, let's compare, let's chisme about that.
You want my story first?
Yeah, you gave birth first, so go ahead.
Great. Let me take a... I'm going to need
Plus, I was...
Cheers.
Cheers.
So you came right after my birth. Okay.
I did, but I was supposed to be there for the birth.
We were hoping he would come. So Heaven was born at the end of April, and we were really hoping he would hold out for May 5th.
Oh,
a Cinco de Mayo baby would have been perfect. Remember, we were like trying to manifest it hard.
It would have been fun.
It would have been fun.
Yeah.
He spoiler alert, he did not.
He came early.
No. So Mom and Dad came down. I was in Colorado. Mom and Dad came down to Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
My birth story, trigger warning, is a horror story.
Yeah.
I hate it.
I think it was worse than mine.
Yeah, there are funny bits, but...
it started funny.
Yeah, it sure did. And ends in horror.
Yeah.
So Mom and Dad come down, whatever. Dad leaves because he has to go back to work. So Mom stays with me in my house in Colorado. So that morning, I was very pregnant. And I was like, I'm just feeling a little crampy. I've had Braxton Hicks probably 3 to 4 weeks before giving birth.
Really?
Yeah. And when I was because I took like a Lamaze class.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. She asked like, hey, is anybody having Braxton Hicks? I said, oh yeah, me. She goes, what does it feel like? And I was like, okay, so the pain starts in your back and then it like rummages through your stomach. And she goes, nope, that's not Braxton Hicks. Those are called labor pains. And I was like, oh, well, that's fun, isn't it? She goes, you need to go talk to your doctor. Oh, my doctor said it was fine. Baby will come when baby is ready.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Low-key Colorado. We're just here to have a good time.
Labor.
Yeah, I was for a long time. And I had something called lightning crotch.
I didn't have that.
Nobody tells you what lightning crotch is before you give birth.
Well, some people do. I heard about it, but I never got it.
It was terrible. And it sounds like what it is. It sounds like a lightning bolt striking through your areas. And it hurts so bad. It would put me down.
Yeah.
Like down for the count. And I'm pretty tough. And I've had bad periods for a long time. But that was out. I was out.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the day. I forgot where it was. It's called Mom Brain. Welcome.
You woke up and you were very pregnant.
So I thought we
Yeah.
go through the day, whatever, and then it comes to like 11, and I was like, dang, I think maybe like I'm just hungry. Like I think maybe that's my problem. It's like I just have hunger pain.
Yeah, sure.
So Mom makes me a grilled cheese sandwich, and I'm eating that, and it gets worse and worse and worse. And I was like, I think we need to go to the hospital. It is bad. Like I'm going through it. It's bad.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay.
Wait for me to sit down. Okay, technical issue. We are back. Okay,
We're back. So I need to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
Mom says, okay, let me get ready. Then she asks, can it wait for General Hospital? No. Simply no. No, we cannot wait for General Hospital. She's an avid watcher.
She doesn't watch it every day.
She really did. Live. So then she's getting ready. She's changing her clothes. And then I'm on FaceTime with you.
Yeah, she FaceTimes
dying.
Me. So
I can't.
She FaceTimes me with you in the background on the couch. And I'm like, no, she's not going into labor. Because I was supposed to be there. Like before you went in. Like I had my PTO with my company. I was like out.
You're going to be in the room with me when I gave birth. Yeah.
Well, I don't think I was allowed. I don't think your ex said I could be there.
I didn't really care.
He was
I would
like,
have made it happen.
No, she can't be there. But I was going to be at the hospital waiting. Yeah. And so she FaceTimes me and you're on the couch dying. You're like this. You're like, oh.
Yes.
And Mom's like, well, she's in labor. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And then she tells me the story while you're still on the couch just waiting for her to take you to the hospital.
Basically.
Tells a story about who came to your door.
So the doorbell rings and my mom answers it because
it sounded like this.
Perfect opportunity to stall time for General Hospital, I'm assuming. And she gets to the door, and I lived in Colorado. We lived next to a dairy ranch.
Mm-hmm.
So the milkman came,
an actual milkman,
and asked if we would like to buy milk from his dairy ranch. And my mom couldn't say no, or couldn't say my daughter's in labor.
No, she did say that. She's like, oh, I would love to.
They were at the door for way too long.
No, what I remember she told me was, she told the guy, I would love to, but my daughter's in labor right now, and we're trying to get to the hospital. And he goes, oh, but let me just tell you about, like, we're like a family farm, or right here, blah, blah. He kept going.
Yeah, it was hard. It was a lot. Side story with the dairy farm, way to go on a tangent, but when Dad was still in Colorado and we were all taking like a night walk with the dogs, the rancher was driving around our neighborhood and he goes, hey, have you guys seen a cow? And Dad goes, a chow? Like a chow chow? Like a dog? And I go, no, Dad, a cow.
What kind of dog is a chow?
Moo, cow. He goes, oh, no moo-moos here.
Dude, what is up with this rancher being in your life?
A little too much. His cows would always escape. They were like in the road all of the time.
Isn't a cow around here?
Yeah.
Anyway,
so
did he have a lasso? He had to go lasso.
I don't know.
Lasso.
I told everybody, I said, now keep your eyes out because I want the cow in the backyard, okay? We didn't find the cow. Okay. So Mom's taking me to the hospital. She makes a wrong turn. So we're in the car an extra like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I said it's clear. It's like 2 turns out of my neighborhood straight down,
but
and then like 2 turns into it's a long straight.
Yeah.
And then 2 turns into the hospital.
Yeah.
She made like an extra 6 turns. Not necessary.
6 extra right.
She like went into another neighborhood and she's like, where am I? And I was like, I can't. We drove it a lot too.
Oh my God.
So
where am I right now?
So we go in they kept me in triage for a long time.
Yeah.
They would not admit me.
I was on FaceTime this actual whole time, actually.
Yeah, you were.
I was.
Like at work.
No, I have it recorded somewhere, but there's no sound.
Yes.
But I recorded it. I started screen recording my FaceTime call because I was like, well, this is her birth video. Unfortunately, I didn't have the media audio, but
pretty much. So they kept me in triage for a long time. And then my ex-husband came in, and then they only allowed one person with me in triage. So mom went out and went in. But here's the thing, like I could not advocate for myself. I was so in pain. I was so like trying to like focus on like getting a baby.
You were mooing like that cow.
Yeah.
You were literally.
Sure was.
I remember that's all I heard you doing was like.
The humming and like the.
No, you were louder than that.
Oh,
you were going crazy. I just remember feeling so bad because I was like on the verge of like teary eye because I was like, she's in so much pain because of how bad you were mooing. Yeah. And yeah.
They wouldn't admit me, so they wouldn't give me any pain medication.
Yeah.
And
and then when mom switched into the room with your ex, he hung up on me.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And I was like, does he not know I'm the only one recording your birth story?
He did not care. He was awful. But so then I was like, finally he spoke up and he was like, hey, it's past 5. I went in at like 1.
You went in, in the later afternoon because I remember I also started the FaceTime call, made it through the rest of my day at work.
Yeah.
And also made it all the way home, which my drive to my house was like 30 minutes.
Right.
And still on FaceTime. And then at home, then Tyler came along and started watching.
Yeah. So they were supposed to check me at like 5. It was like 10 after 5. And finally my ex-husband said, hey, you need to check her. And then they checked me. I was dilated to 8.
That's crazy.
And they were like, oh my God. I don't know what they were waiting for, by the way. Like, I have no clue.
Your doctor was in traffic.
No, that was later.
Oh.
But yes, that's coming. So she's on the walkie-talkie. We got to admit her. She's dilated. She's 8. We got to go. They put me on the bed. And all I could felt was like a balloon pop. My water broke.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even see what it looked like or anything. It was because I was laying down. And she goes, oh. And I said, my water broke. I'm yelling. My water just broke. I want an epidural. And then I was like, hey, can I get like oxygen while I wait for the epidural? And they were like, you have to pick one because.
NOS.
Yeah.
Laughing gas.
Yeah. Yes.
The gas.
I don't know.
I don't know. Laughing gas.
They put it through the gas. And she goes, you have to pick one because we can't do both. And I said, fine, I want the epidural. The epidural comes in. They won't give me my mom. I'm crying for my mom. I said, I don't want. They're like, your husband's here. I was like, I don't want my husband. I want my mother. Did not let her in. I was mad. She stuck me 3 times before she got my epidural in.
Oh my God.
So my back is jacked. But
yeah,
then it really slowed me down. And I had not a pleasant birth. That was fine. Like I got to think and I got to think clearly and it slowed me down. And then my doctor was stuck in traffic, so we had to wait for her. So thank God it slowed me down.
Yeah, I do remember that once mom was let back into the room, that's when she called me back.
Yes.
Finally. So I missed like all of that stuff.
And my ex-husband's
he FaceTimed his family.
And they were all on the phone.
And we were all on the phone and you weren't allowed to record or do any of that. So I remember like mom propped me up secretly. And I was on mute because I knew you weren't allowed to have that.
Yeah.
But he called his family on FaceTime and propped them up. They didn't mute themselves. And they were like, I can't see.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shut up.
You're going to ruin this forever.
And then the doctors like looked over because they're like working on you. And they looked over and I'm like, you guys, you're not allowed to even be on video.
Yeah.
You're gonna ruin it for all of us who are watching.
Yeah. So my kid was born at 7.
Stupid.
So it was a very quick birth
because
he was out by 7.
Mm-hmm.
I bled a lot. Like I when I see the pictures, it was a lot of blood.
I was the bloody show.
No, it was more than that. I was very pale. Even like when you came, because you came the next day and you saw me in the hospital.
You were pale.
And you said, you look real pale. You go, I just gave birth.
Yeah.
I am dead.
Yeah.
Inside and out.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's awful. Because I do remember when I got back on FaceTime, that's how I knew your doctor was in traffic, because I remember they said that.
Yeah.
They're like, she's on her way. She was just in traffic.
Because they kept checking me because I was dead.
And you were like ready.
By the time I got my epidural, I was at 10 and my body was naturally pushing.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I got the epidural, they were like, you have to stop moving. And I was like, I have no control over my body anymore.
Yeah.
My body is doing this without me, like, controlling it. Like, I cannot stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
That's what happens. That's the natural process.
Yeah. And then
if I were to
up, they actually, which I don't think.
They gave me a catheter. They
did that for me too.
Yeah. But then, because the epidural, I didn't push like the button because it was not enough time, right?
You get extra if you push that button.
Yeah. They said, oh, can you walk to your recovery room? And I said, yeah. I didn't have any legs. I fell flat on the floor.
They didn't have nurses on each side of you at all?
No. I went, poof. I said, yeah, I can walk. I swung my body around.
Your hospital?
And just dead.
Sucked.
Yeah, it was bad. And it was the nicer hospital in the area. Yeah.
That's awful.
And then the next...
No, wait.
The night.
No, before that, let me just say, I do remember, I don't think they gave you that, like, golden hour where they put your baby on skin to skin.
No.
I don't think they did that for you. I think I remember them, like, cleaning him up, put him in the little, like, rolling cart.
So they went from vagina to chest, and I got to, like, see him, and then he was, I think, looking a little jaundiced, looking a little yellow, so they put him under the lamp.
It's just a warming lamp.
Yeah, to help him warm up. And then
your ex got to...
Yep.
I don't know. I'm not going to name names. Your ex got to hold him first, I think. Like, for a longer time.
Yeah. And then Mom held him, and then they gave him back to me.
I would have been livid with your hospital. I would have been like...
I
would have been like, this entire team... Get the F out of my room. New team.
I didn't like my nurse, that's for sure. And then when I went to recovery, I only liked my night nurse. She was so nice to me, so I didn't eat. And then they didn't feed me because I gave birth at 7. So the kitchen was closed.
Yeah.
Nobody went and got me food after I gave birth. My ex-husband didn't go order food for me.
The next morning, his girlfriend. Yeah. You know, the girl
that night.
Oh, it was that night. She came and brought him.
And got him dinner.
Yeah.
But not me.
But he didn't even share it with you. Like, what?
No. Nobody gave me anything. My night nurse was like, I'm going to go get you some granola bars and some juice.
Mind you, you guys were not separated yet. Like, this was just the girl that you knew he was seeing behind your back.
Correct. The mistress.
Yeah. And it wasn't like, you were just like, I know it, but he's not going to admit it. But, like, she came and gave...
I was also very hormonal and giving birth to a baby. You want your family to stay together.
Your hormones dump after you give birth.
And while you're pregnant, too. Like, you're super hormonal. So, yeah, I knew better. But my body couldn't. my brain wasn't working. To me. So, but yeah, that's my birth story. Now I have a very healthy kid.
And I came the next day. I literally changed, as soon as Mom, started FaceTiming me, I went to my manager and I was like, I need to change my PTO to tomorrow and, use that time instead of, the following week or something.
Yeah.
And he was cool with it. It was totally cool.
That's
so
nice.
I was grateful that I could, switch it that quickly. Yeah. And then I literally flew out to Colorado the next day.
And Mom
got there.
Up,
yeah. And then I came to visit. You were still in the hospital.
Yes.
Said you were pale. I took some pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found them, actually. I was going through I was uploading photos. Yeah, I need to put them on a flash drive for you, but I found, all the photos I took of him when he was born and everything.
He's a good baby. Sometimes I miss the baby days. But then I see your kid and I'm like, no thanks.
What? My kid? My kid's amazing.
Yes.
What? You're like, oh, no.
Well, he's the closest thing to, a baby
He is a baby.
Yeah, but like I don't want another baby.
Yeah. You're like, oh, I remember it was kind of hard to do, huh?
No. I mean,
My kid's beautiful.
He doesn't give me baby fever. Maybe I should.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like I see your kid and I like play with your baby and I'm like, oh, you know how some people are like, oh, it gives me baby fever because you can smell the baby.
Yeah, luckily I haven't felt like that. That's weird.
Don't have baby fever.
That's good.
I want my kid to graduate high school and go to a beautiful college and make beautiful money and buy a house and leave me alone to support my tuition.
Well, yeah. And then I remember I stayed at your house for a while.
Yeah.
For a few days. Like,
and then you and Mom drove home.
Yes, we did. But because Mom had driven out there with Dad,
right.
and Dad flew home so she could have her car.
Mm-hmm.
And then, that was the whole plan, was me coming to drive home with Mom. So, and that's why we only stayed a couple days. And I do remember, like, that first night you were home, Mom told you, like, if you need us, like, to hold the baby for you, like, a little extra, like, come bring him to us and you can sleep in or whatever.
Yeah.
I remember 6 a.m.
She goes, my shift starts at 6 a.m. And I said, Bet.
You came Bet. Mom and I were sleeping in the same bed. And you came to that door 6 a.m. on the dot. You're like, take him. And Mom was like, okay, but I actually held him. And I held him for hours.
Yeah.
I was just like staring at him the whole time.
Yeah. He was a good little baby.
Yeah, he was beautiful.
Yeah. He slept a lot those days.
He did.
The younger they are, the easier they are.
Your baby slept a lot.
Yeah.
Because I remember I held him for like hours and like back then
he liked to be held to sleep.
Yeah, but back then I didn't know like how often babies like eat and stuff like that. So like thinking back, I'm like, dang, he just slept for like 3 hours straight without waking up to eat.
But you don't wake a sleeping baby. No. That was my rule.
Newborns.
Nope, that was my rule.
Yeah.
You don't wake a sleeping baby, and when he wakes, because I breastfed, so he took the breast to go to sleep, and then he woke up, he was hungry, he had the breast. Mm-hmm. So I was on demand all the time. And then, my philosophy was you don't wake a sleeping baby, and when they're hungry, they'll eat.
When they're hungry?
When they're hungry, they eat.
When they're hungry, they eat.
All right, your birth story, let's go.
Okay. So mine. All right. Let me just read my notes because I don't want to like miss out on. Okay. I wrote this down.
You wrote your birth story down?
No, not the entire birth story. Okay, I'll go through my birth story and then I'll
crap, Mom, I never wrote down my birth story.
No, but I remember everything. Okay, so here's the thing. I was supposed to. My due date was October 9th.
Mm-hmm.
He came 2 weeks early.
Okay.
But I was supposed to, what I did was I told my bosses, which is my mother-in-law and grandmother-in-law, I was like, October 1, I'm not coming in. Like, that's my cutoff day. I wanted those, like...
He was born on October 1st.
I know. That would have been your
birthday, friends.
I wanted an October baby so bad, but he came a little too early.
Dang it.
Dang it, but anyway, I was like, October 1, I don't want to work. I want those 9 days to, like, be at home, basically bedridden, and relax.
Yeah.
Because work is very stressful. So
also, you can't sleep when you're that pregnant. Like, it's hard.
Oh, my God. It was the worst to try to sleep. Yeah. I couldn't.
You can't get comfortable.
I could not sleep on my back. You're not allowed to sleep on your back.
Yeah, I know.
I could only sleep on my sides, and my belly was so big that I had to like be a little propped, and I
used a bunch of pillows all over the belly.
The amount of pregnancy pillows and regular pillows and miniature pillows. I tried. I was like,
but it is uncomfortable. It's just
it was still so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And at the end of my pregnancy, I was like, I am done.
Yeah.
I'm done. I wanted to sleep more on my side, like almost on my belly, but not. I'm like, I cannot wait.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe I was like, I am done. And he was like, okay, I hear you. And he just came. But anyway, so I said October 1, I'm not going to go in. I want to relax. But I went to work that morning. First of all, I woke up early for no reason that morning, and I could not go back to sleep. So I woke up at like 5:30 a.m.
I would wake up at midnight and eat like snacks.
I wake up at like 5 a.m. I go to work all day. I work 9.5 hours. Monday through Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
I work all day.
Mm-hmm.
I come home and we had Taco Bell that night. Because I was like, I want Taco Bell and I want the jalapeno sauce. And I think that's what put me into labor.
Spicy foods are supposed to put you into
but
labor.
I didn't think I thought I was enough far out so that it wouldn't. Because I was like, I have 2 whole weeks. It's not like I'm a week away. Like,
no,
I don't know.
The whole month.
A month. Anyway, I was also for the last 2 weeks leading up to that.
Mm-hmm.
I could not stop eating shaved ice. I would blend ice and eat it constantly.
Yeah.
And my doula actually told me, she was like, oh, my last mom had that craving for her last 2 weeks of pregnancy. And then she went into labor. And I was like, well, that's interesting. But now it,
now it clicks.
Now it clicks because I did go into labor 2 weeks later. But anyway, so that night, get home, eat my Taco Bell, think nothing of it. That day, I had my OB appointment that day, one of my last appointments. And she was like, any signs of labor? I say, no, not at all. Nothing. I don't have Braxton Hicks. I didn't have lightning crotch like you. I didn't have any cramping. Nothing was going on. I was like, no. He's fine. No signs whatsoever.
And she liked being pregnant then.
Huh?
Must have liked being pregnant then.
Me?
Yeah.
Everything
I feel like if that
sleep.
was my pregnancy, I would be like, yeah, I would do it again. But because I had such the Braxton Hicks and
I had
early labor pains and the lightning crotch.
The only terrible thing I had was morning sickness, but it was at night mostly. So I was at home. It wasn't like I'm throwing up in my trash at work. I'm at home.
I threw up everywhere. I had bad morning sickness.
Yeah, but mine was
whole pregnancy.
At night. Yeah, mine too. The whole pregnancy. Yeah. It was a little better in my second trimester, but it was just bad the whole time. But I also already had a prescription for Zofran, so I was used to being nauseous and throwing up and all that before. So it didn't bother. I could deal with it.
Right.
Anyway. I had my OB appointment, so nothing's going on. And then we both try to go to bed. It's 11 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
We finally are laying down, right? Mm-hmm. I have trouble sleeping anyway. And being pregnant, I also could not get comfortable to sleep.
Yeah.
So 11:45 comes around and I'm let me go pee one more time. Yeah. Before bed.
Yeah.
I get up to go pee and I feel a cramp. My first cramp. I'm okay, I'm 2 weeks away. Felt kind of like a period cramp and I knew those things were coming. And I was let me just let it pass before I get up off the toilet.
Yeah, yeah.
I let it pass and then I feel more water come out. And I'm pretty sure I already peed and I'm pretty sure that's not pee.
Yeah.
So I'm wiping and then it soaks it up, the toilet paper. And I'm no. And I wipe again, soaks it up. I was fuck. And I wake Tyler up.
Did thing come out?
No.
Mine did.
Nothing.
I called Mom to the toilet because I was freaking out.
No, I was get my mom! Because you told me about yours coming out, every time I took a shower, I was Hawkeye waiting.
Mine came out in the toilet. That's why I asked.
Yeah, no, I was Hawkeyeing it. Nothing. So then I wake Tyler up and I'm my water broke. And he's 40 minutes into sleep. And he's are you serious? And because we both worked the whole day and he streamed. So it's a second job on top of that. And what's funny is my doula actually texted me that same day too. And she's hey, I'm officially on call for you because you're 2 weeks away. Just call me if you have any issues or whatever. Not that I was going into labor. So I text her back that earlier that day. I'm LOL, don't scare me like that because it's nervous. I got nervous. She jinxed me. She jinxed me because I went into labor.
Okay. So I don't think that's how a jinx works.
Anyway, all this talk, I'm literally just at my water broke part. You're done with your story by now. I'm every single detail
I'm 7 years out, not 6 months. So it's a little different.
5 months and a week. Yeah. Anyway, so I text my doula because I'm it's midnight. I don't want to you know, she has kids too. So I was just like, let me just send a text so I'm not like calling her. She's next to her husband sleeping or something like that. So I text her. I'm like, hey, my water just broke, yada yada. I'm going to try to wait it out a little bit. I'll let you know if it gets bad. Or like, I'll let you know if I'm going to the hospital. So I'm like, okay, I have no pain. My water's just like coming out in like, in like pulses. It's like flowing out.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I have a washcloth and a towel wrapped around myself. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take a shower because I'm in labor and I want clean hair. I want a clean body. I don't know when the next time I'm going to shower will be in 2 days. So I was like, I'll hop in the shower. So
I let you shower at the hospital.
No, I'm at home.
I know, but
okay, yeah.
Anyway. Like when you're in the recovery room, they should let you shower.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
But I didn't know. Anyway, let me tell my story.
Okay.
Okay, I hop in the shower. I wash my hair. I do all this. I get out. I do my makeup. Because I'm like, let me get a full face on. I am not going to be ugly in these birthing pictures. And girl, I was not ugly in those pictures.
Who took the pictures?
My doula on my phone.
Oh.
She took some shots. Anyway, I did my whole makeup. And as I'm doing my makeup, my water's still gushing. Mm-hmm. And Tyler gets up out of bed and he's like getting everything prepped. He's like getting the hospital.
Gotta go.
Yeah, he's like, because I kept telling him, like, pack your hospital bag, pack your hospital bag. Literally the night before I went into labor, that's when he packed his hospital bag. But he needed, like, just a couple of the essentials that you use every day to, like, put in there. So he was getting all that ready, got everything in the car. And then he's like, okay, you're good? I was like, yeah, I'm good. He's like, I'm going to shower. I was like, go shower because we're going to be in the hospital for, like, 2-3 days. Usually, they release you 24 hours after, but I was like, we might be there for 2 days. So, he showers, and at one point, like, I dropped he's like, is your water still breaking? I'm like, let me check. I put the towel down, and just water goes onto the floor, and he goes, I did not just see that. And I was like, that's crazy. I was like, that is crazy. Anyway, so then I call my doula because at this point she hasn't answered my text. Mm-hmm. And I was like, it's late. Like, of course she's not going to answer. So I call her and I'm like, hey, just so you know, like, I've been in labor for like an hour at this point. And I'm trying to time my contractions. Like, I was like, I don't really feel too many yet, but I am, like, trying to time them. And she goes, okay, well, if you want to, try to labor at home where you're comfortable, but whenever you're ready, you can go to the hospital. When you're at the hospital, after they check you, text me what they say. So I'm like, okay, so 1:30, we go to the hospital. I'm like, let's just go. Yeah. Because I'd rather just be there and be all settled in. Yeah. I'll admit you, just let's go. So we go at 1:30 in the morning. We have to go through the emergency room. And they're like, if you want to bring your bags, that's fine. We'll just have to, like, check everything. Or you can just get admitted and then leave. And go get your bags. And then get your bags later when the main entrance opens at, like, 5 or 6 a.m. Oh. And it was 1:30. And I was like, okay, we left our bags. Big mistake.
Yeah, I would have been like,
we check it, bud. Yeah, we should have been like, yeah, just search our bags.
Airport security, here we come.
Literally, it's worse than TSA. They do have metal detectors.
Having just broke his arm, and they had to check my bag, and I'm carrying around my bag, and it's a beautiful square bag, but I carry a lot of stuff in there. Like, I have my planner in there. I have, like, a folder of paperwork in there. I have snacks, drinks, water bottles, extra socks. I have it. Yeah. You name it, I have it in there. Yeah. And they were like, hey, just so you know, they're going to check your bag. I was like, no problem. There's nothing, like, nothing crazy in my bag.
Problem for you, not for
not for me. I had a jacket in there. It's like, I have to check your bag. And I was like, good luck. And he goes, can you help me move stuff around? I was like, yeah, no problem. I'm pulling shit out. And he's like, oh, it's fine. I'm like, are you sure? I have a flashlight that kind of looks like a pocket knife, but it's just a flashlight. I'll promise you. He's like, you're good. Come on. And I was like, okay.
Okay. Anyway, we go.
Also, I don't like that because, like,
anybody.
You
like,
should check.
You should really check. But yeah, we left our bags in the car. I thought it was fine. Later on, I'm like, we should have brought it to begin with.
Yeah.
But anyway, I go to the back. I'm in triage. They check me. I'm only 2 centimeters. And they had to like, they're like, yeah, we're just gonna like use this little strip to check and see if the water was actually water.
Okay.
Like amniotic fluid.
Yep.
They like, I don't know, for some reason they didn't believe my water broke because I guess it's not like normal.
Normally you're further along than 2 centimeters when your water breaks. I will say that.
Yeah. So I was like, okay.
From my understanding. I am not.
Yeah. I was like, I know my water broke because it's like, gosh, there's no other water coming out of me like that. But go ahead and check it. And
I peed myself a lot before I went into labor. Like I had to
okay, but the way this water was coming out.
But yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
No, mine was.
I would know if I was peeing myself.
Mine was I couldn't control my bodily functions by the end of the day.
No, so I went.
The beginning of the day.
We get in triage. I think I threw my underwear away because I was like, oh no, I walked in with a washcloth under me. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna throw this away. Like I don't need a soaked up washcloth.
We don't need a towel.
I'm on puppy pads now on the like hospital bed.
Yeah.
Like I'm good. So we threw that away. And then since it was like 1:30 in the morning, they were like clearing out a room for me. And then I went over there later on. I really wasn't that far along before they moved me into a labor room.
Oh, that's
this
nice.
room was like big.
Yeah.
And they had all the fixings in there. All the like the balls, the
yeah,
balls,
I wanted that.
all that. Yeah.
So, I asked about that. I took a tour and everything of my hospital. I was prepared.
I had a tour scheduled for like that Friday, but I went into labor like Wednesday.
I had a tour scheduled at the beginning of April.
I had a tour scheduled, but I didn't. Well, they were all full. All my tours.
Maybe it was in March.
Really?
Because I went on a baby moon in April.
I didn't do a baby moon, but
we didn't call it a baby moon, but it basically was.
I mean, I went to Greece, but at 5 months pregnant, so you could say that was a baby moon. But
that was a big baby moon.
But I had that planned
I went 2 hours up. So
I had it planned for a year.
Yeah,
because we had it move. We had it planned for earlier that year, but then we had to reschedule till later on. So I ended up going when I was pregnant. So you can call it a baby moon, but I had it before I even got pregnant. We went up to
Estes Park.
I've been there.
Yes. It's beautiful.
Okay.
10 out of 10 recommend.
In the room. Yeah. I wanted to do natural. Everything natural.
Okay.
No epidural, no pain meds, nothing. I was like,
you got this.
I thought so because I have I know that's what they all say. I have a really high pain tolerance. Like, when I go to the dentist, I don't get numbed. I'm like, I have a cavity. I don't care. Drill my mouth. I never get numbed. Ever since I think I was like 12 or 13 and mom let me start deciding. No numbing. I hate needles. Yeah. I'm so scared of needles.
You are.
So I was like, no.
Yeah.
And then I also tell the nurse who's putting in the IV, I was like, look, I know it's a rubber tube, but there's a needle in there. I'm scared of needles. Please be careful when you prick me. Here's what she says. She says, don't worry. I'm the best IV placer in the hospital right now.
What they all say.
She was not. She stuck me. She blew my vein.
Yeah. They blew Hemming's vein when he got a broken arm. Oh. And they moved one vein over. And I was like, I swear to God.
She had to do the other arm and in a spot where it was like really like nerve-wracking for me because
tender.
Well, it's in an area where I like move a lot. So like instead of doing it up here, they did it somewhere down here and I was like, bruh, like I moved my hands and they were supposed to place it where it wouldn't be in the way, but it was in the way. And anytime I couldn't move my left arm.
Hold your baby.
And I literally couldn't move my left arm because of where it was placed. It was like so uncomfortable for me.
Yeah.
But anyway, she had to place it somewhere else, and I was like, and she even blamed my vein. She was like, she like tried to put it in, and then she calls the other nurse over, and she's like, "Isn't this weird? It's like it won't go anywhere." And I'm like, dude, like get this needle out of me and have someone else place it. And then I'm laboring. I wanted the wireless monitor so I don't have to be hooked up. and laying in bed, I wanted to get up and move around.
Yeah.
So I did that. I had that. They put the waterproof like seal on so I can get in the shower. I get in the shower, my contractions start getting really bad.
Yep.
And Tyler calls our doula, who said she was gonna get there like at like 5 or 6 a.m. After her kids like wake up, and then she was gonna meet us there.
Yeah.
And then my contractions were getting so bad. Tyler was like, kept calling her up, and she was like, "You probably need to come here. Like, I don't think she's handling this." And I wasn't. Like, I thought I had
It's hard to think clear when you're in that much pain. It is nice to have someone advocate for you, especially when you can express what you want beforehand.
Yeah. So I ended up going back in bed. Like, I didn't even do... I went to... My doula had a class, too. It wasn't Lamaze, but she did show, like, pressure point areas where you could do to, like, calm that pain.
There was this one thing, and I wish someone would do it on me now, because felt great then. I'm sure it feels good now. They put like a very long scarf like under your lower back, like, right where your hips, are. And then you're laying on the ground, and then they just pulled your hips up. Yeah. Your partner pulls your hips up. Yeah. So you're like in that position. Your hips are up. It just elongates your like spine. It pulls your like, it felt so good. Yeah. I wish someone would do it to me now.
All of that stuff that I learned, all the pressure points like on your back and your hips that could calm the contractions, out the window.
Out the window.
Out.
Well, you can't think straight.
I could not think at all. They were asking me questions, and I don't even know. My doula did come. I don't know when, but she was there. She was there.
All I wanted was my mom. And all I could say is, I want my mom.
I was like, give me the laughing gas. I was like, let me try it. Because I did not want the epidural to needle this long in your back. I was like,
it's in your spine. No. And it's in a very particular part of your spine.
I know, but it's
scary. Like, I know. She stuck me 3 times and she told me to stop moving.
Okay, so that's crazy. I tried the gas, and no one else can hold it for you. You have to hold it yourself. So I held it up, and I felt like I was suffocating. So I would yank it off and go, and they're like, you have to hold it. Like, you have to hold it for it to work. And I was like, I can't. I'm suffocating. And they're like, well, for it to work, you have to hold it. And I was like, I can't. So I was like, feeling like I had to push. Yeah. So I was like, I'm gonna push. And then the nurse was like, well, let me check you. The same nurse who blew my vein. She was like, I'm going to check you, right? She checks me. First of all, this is one of my notes that I wrote down. I've never been fisted in my life before, but the amount of times they fisted me in that delivery room was enough for a lifetime.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. 1 centimeter is 1 finger. 2 is 2 fingers.
That girl put her whole hand in my coochie.
3 is 3 fingers.
No, her entire...
At this point, when you're at 3 and you're like, okay, good, 3 centimeters, you should not do 3 anymore, and you should start doing this little number.
She went...
And maybe this little number.
In there. She did like, this. I remember watching her...
It should never be a whole fist.
I remember watching her do this, and
4 fingers is too much.
And this is what she said, because I was in so much pain. Mm-hmm. She was like, oh, honey, you're at 9 centimeters. You can do this. I said, thank God, right? I'm at the end. I was like, I can do this. I had like confidence at that point.
Yeah.
The midwife, who was the one to actually deliver the baby, she came in. She's like, let me recheck. She checks me. She goes, you're at a 5.5, 6, maybe. Can you believe that?
Did you ask for a new nurse?
She was getting off shift anyway. But no, that was like one of the last things she did before she was gone. I did not ask for a new nurse because I don't know. I had my mental, I was gone. Yeah. They were asking me questions, and I was just like...
It's hard. You can't think when you're in that much pain.
Yeah, no.
You can't.
I was like...
Your body is so focused on doing one thing, and it is getting that baby outside of you.
Those contractions came constantly.
Yes, I know.
Constant.
I had one.
And then I was like, I told my...
I was dilated to 10 when I got my epidural.
That's great. Yeah.
So I'll just say that. When they checked me, and they put me in the room, and the anesthesiologist was waiting to put in my epidural, they checked me, I was at 10.
That's crazy.
And they were like, do you still want this? And I was like...
Duh.
Yes.
Duh.
Yes. Do I still want this?
Is he out yet? No.
I want this and I want my mom. One of the two things happened.
The fuck? Like, so, anyway, after that, I was like, I don't think I can last. Because at that point, I was like, it goes from painful to suffering. And I was like, I'm not going to suffer because then the baby will suffer and be stressed.
Yeah.
And they were already checking his blood pressure too at that point. So it's like,
it's a little much.
Yeah, it was a little too much. I was like, I think I'm going to have to do the epidural. And they're like, are you sure? Like, you can do this? And then I was like, no, I think I need to do it.
Yeah.
And then this is the worst part. They told me I had to stay absolutely still.
Yes.
Through those contractions.
I was dilated 10.
I know. Yeah,
girl.
I know. I
yeah,
wasn't
girl.
there yet. So I was like, I held on to my doula, and you had to bend forward and all that.
Oh, I did not. I was on the bed, laying down. Like,
oh, you did? I bent forward, and I was like holding my doula's hips, and I buried my face into her like stomach, basically.
Yeah.
But then the anesthesiologist gave me. She didn't prick me 3 times, just once, thank God. Mm-hmm. And there was the pop.
Yeah.
And that's when I like jumped a little bit, and they held me. But oh my God, that pop is the worst thing.
It is bad. Okay.
But anyway, and then I was like, press the button. Also, no one's allowed to press the button for you. You have to press the button to get extra.
Get to the button.
I know you didn't get to your button, but no.
Also, nobody told me where the button was.
They handed me
that. I did know that there was a button somewhere.
They handed it to
logically.
Me. They held it for me, but they were like, but we can't push the button for you. You have to push the button. And as soon as that, because they have to put, like, the cassette or whatever it's called in to actually get the stuff, they're like, push it. And I was like, ah! They're, like, going crazy. And then it did slow me down, too. Yes.
And it helps you think clearly.
It gave me enough
clarity.
I actually took a 20-minute nap.
Good.
After it kicked in.
That's good.
But then I occasionally woke up and was squeezing my doula or Tyler, whoever was in front of me, because they switched.
Yeah.
So I was squeezing their hand, and I was like, fuck, shit, right? Yeah. Tyler was like, I've never heard you cuss that much in your life, but you kept waking up and that's all you would say, and then you fall back asleep, and then you wake up and do that again.
Your body's exhausted.
Yeah. And then morning comes around. I was in labor for 11 hours.
Wow.
And morning comes around, and then they're like, okay, I think you're ready to push. And then they had to take only my left side. Or no, my right. One of my sides wasn't getting numb. So I could feel everything on my left side.
Interesting.
But not on my right. My right was completely numb, but my left wasn't.
I'm going to blame that on the IV.
It was not the IV, it was the epidural. So I don't know, I guess it was leaning or something where it was mostly my right being numb and the left. And I clicked that button for extra epidural so many times that they were like, we have to, not that, but they're like, for you to push and let's get this finished.
Yeah. You have to stop.
You have to cut off the epidural so you can feel when the contractions come, and then you can push during the contractions.
Yeah.
Yada yada. Did all that. I was a great pusher. They held my legs up because I could not feel shit. And I could not imagine, because they were like, can you stand up to get to a wheelchair?
Yes, sure can.
No. I
said yes so quick without thinking.
I can't feel a thing.
I can't feel anything either, but I said yes so happily.
I had 2 people on each side of me holding my up. And then before I left okay, you want me to wrap this up. Anyway, I have 2 people beside me. They lift me up, and they're lifting me so high up to get me to the postpartum room. They bring a little birthday cake for the baby being born.
Did you get to eat it?
No, Tyler ate it. No, Tyler ate it. And then I went to the postpartum room, which is huge. Mm-hmm. And then we decided to stay an extra day too, because Roman was jaundiced too.
Yeah.
So we stayed an extra day because he wasn't latching, and I wanted 24. Well, it's not really 24/7, but the lactation specialists are there for like a certain amount of time throughout the day. So I just wanted to be able to call them up whenever.
Yes.
To handle that. So we stayed an extra day and all that. And yeah.
That's good.
That was my story.
Okay. Follow-up questions. Are you ready?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Would you ever have another baby? Or are you one and done?
No. One and done. I was 0 before. I didn't want kids. But yeah.
No. I wanted kids. But I am one and done now. I feel very fulfilled in my motherhood with one.
Tyler's also one and done. Which he wanted kids. I did not. But now we have one. I'm thankful it's a boy. Yeah. If it was a girl, I don't know if he'd be like one and done. But because it's a boy, and also he's a really good sleeper at night, and all this, we think back and we're like, oh, we're so lucky because he doesn't have like all these issues that I hear about, like from other moms, and I'm like, all this stuff, we're so lucky.
Just wait until the terrible twos, and you'll be like, oh my god, and then they hit the teenager 3s, and you're like, oh my god,
yeah, like, oh, fun, even more fun than last year.
And then my kid is 6, and he talks to me like he's 16, and that is a real hard line in our house. You are 6, not 16. You need to get it together.
Well, luckily Tyler's one and done, and he also says if we did have another, he's like, and they're not a good sleeper at night, he's like, I could not do that.
Yeah. Hemming was not a good sleeper at night, but it's fine. I am one and done. It would take a very special man. I am single. Not married. It would take a very special man to convince me to have another baby, and it's people say like, oh, I don't want any kids. I'm like, oh, okay.
You're like,
every time I'm like, okay.
You're like, oh, okay, yeah.
I like that. Check. Oh, you like a vasectomy? Check.
Oh, nice. Oh, okay. Let me see your bank account.
Yeah. Check.
Like it. I like it a lot. Anyway, that's my birthing story.
But if I were to ever have another one, I would do a home birth.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't even know. I couldn't even labor at home.
Oh my gosh. Okay. The last part, I just remembered this. Oh my god. It is the chisme of chismes of chismes.
Okay.
How do you feel about someone saying bonus son or bonus daughter?
I don't know. I don't really care.
I think it's weird. I think it's tacky. I want to say Scamanda. And if you know Scamanda, she is the person who faked she had brain cancer and scammed a bunch of people out of money and donations. It's a podcast and it's a show. Recommend. 10 out of 10 recommend. It's great. But she was like famous for saying like, my bonus daughter, my bonus daughter, my bonus daughter. We have someone that we both know that just did a Facebook post about happy birthday to my bonus son. And it sent me through a spiral.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
Straight spiral. I was like, I would never.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, well, I don't know. Is that not, I mean.
No. If someone
what do you think when you marry someone and they have a child, you just say, okay, those are my kids now?
You can say that.
How would you feel about that?
No, I would be weird if you said my bonus son.
But how would you feel about if your ex had a new wife and she said my son about Hemming?
I don't like that either. We can also just say happy birthday and name the person. Happy birthday to Johnny. He's turning 10 and he's great. Here's a bunch of pictures of him.
I don't know. Maybe it's a good way to...
I love that you're in my life. I love that I can be your stepmom. That's all you have to say.
Well, what
you
would you say my step... Oh, you could say stepson.
Yeah.
There's a term.
There is. Sure is.
There's a term.
Huh? But you don't have to say, oh, my stepson. You can just say, I like being your stepmom. You can refer to yourself as a term and him as a person. I think it's weird when we're bonus, whatever. No. Why do we have to differentiate between like a person and a person? Spiral. Straight spiral.
That's a hot take.
Sure is. Don't say that. Keep me in a spiral.
Keep me out of it.
Keep you out of my tornado.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
Good luck deep diving to find who it is. It's probably not hard. I gave you enough information, vaguely specific.
That's so funny. Anyway, I got a lot to say about that, but I don't know if I should.
We'll do another episode. Stay tuned for next week.
Yeah,
stay tuned for next week.
We'll see.
We'll discuss our thoughts and we'll see how controversial she'll get.
Well, I'll try to see, like...
Because that was a surprise for her.
What can I say that won't be, like, have that person calling us up being like, why are you...
Call me. Call me. I dare you.
Okay, well, I'll say this then. They also don't have a job. And
yeah, we know.
And neither does...
Daddy.
Her, yeah, the new
we
guy.
know.
And they both weren't full custody parents, but they were both, after marriage, trying to fight for full custody. Neither of them have jobs.
We know.
What? That's crazy. That's all I can say. Wild.
High roll. All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching.
We'll be back next week.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye.